3, 3, 2. Going live, going live. Welcome, my Periscopers. Welcome to the 5D events. I'm blessed and honored to be here. My name is Tracy Repchuck, and I'm going to be talking to you today about how to reach millions with your message. So we're going to cover the 5 main elements, and those are how to play a bigger game, how to attract your ideal client, be prepared, reach millions, and then ultimately, how do you launch your vision? How many people here are ready to play a bigger game? I mean, I don't think in the 37 countries that I've spoken in around the world that I've actually encountered a room and a community with a more important message, which is why this is so critical that you understand the importance of kind of online marketing, digital branding, and the internet and social media. So over the course of the time that I'm here, today I'm going to just be covering an overview of the 4 strategies that I use. Then I'm going to go more deep dish on Saturday into social media. And then I'm going to go more deep dish on Sunday into publishing and books, okay? And how do you put your content kind of into a medium like this and then have somebody digest it, apply it, and join you on your journey. Okay. All right, so I really serve a community that has a message that needs to get out there. And so how many people here have a message that the world needs to know? Good, good. I'm in the right room. But the thing about having a message is that's one piece of it, right? Now we have to make an impact with that message. And then we are at a position here in time where we can actually leave one of the most important legacies that there is to leave. And that is, of course, the preservation of the planet and the kind of the renewal of spirit within man and the understanding and compassion that we came in with originally that has been lost over time, as Eric was talking about, through all of the various mechanisms that they're using to affect us. And then last but not least, it's about unlocking the secrets to making money doing what you love. And even if you're not the person that needs to make that money, and you're like, oh, I'm good, I'm fine, that's great. Then make it for your causes. Make it so that you can pull in and attract enough money that you can support a lot of these types of events that need your help financially. And then last but not least, you want to live your mission. Knowing and understanding your mission is a very important one. And I would say many of the people in this room, many of our watchers online, many of my Periscope followers, for those of you who aren't Periscoping, really cool. I was at a concert the other day and had almost 3,000 followers follow what I was broadcasting live at the time. And that's what we have the ability to do. This is why it's so important that we reach millions, because even if they're not in this room, my over 50,000 Twitter followers can be watching me broadcast right now. And so my mission, for those of you who are in the room this morning, is really about being the catalyst for you guys in your message. I have come with this unique ability to be very aware of being a spiritual being from a very young age, to having the marketing and technology background that I do. Again, as I mentioned this morning, I started in technology arena when I was 14 years old as a programmer, graduated with a degree in IT at the age of 19, and started a software company that where I had already made millions by the time I was at the age of 24. I retired by the time I was 35, and then got that knock on the door, right? That says, by the way, you're not supposed to just be chilling in your house right now. On the deck with your amazing husband / business partner for 22 years now, and your unbelievably great 3 kids. And so I got that wake-up call that said, get your butt out, you're a leader and an innovator, and you were meant to do that. And I meant to honestly get the message out of people like yourselves who are here to change the world. And that is my mission, to get you and your message known. So, what does that take? Well, it's going to be taking technology. We have been given a gift. Obviously, for those of you who are aware of the lineage of time, 76 trillion year history, you know we've had technology over and over and over and over. And now we've dabbled with it in this lifetime to the point where finally, at least, we have something that we can leverage in a worldwide way. There's 7 billion people on the planet. There's 5 billion that are using the mobile phone, and there's 1.7 billion that are using internet marketing. And so it's critical that we tap and leverage into that, because this is the medium that is being used right now. And because we're in a room of change agents, it's up to you to really make sure that we are at the forefront of leveraging this, because we have the message, we have the positive messaging, and we have the knowledge that needs to get out there. And so those are the holistic healers, those that are socially responsible, the game changers. You challenge boundaries and you take risks. Literally, the knowledge that we're talking about in this room today, and we're broadcasting live around the world, would have got us hung 200 years ago. We would have been all obliterated. We're lucky, really, that they're, quietly maybe taking us out one at a time, because historically they would have just rallied us all and done us all in. Even though I'm not the one, I'm the catalyst, I'd have probably been the first gone. But I'm okay with that. And somebody mentioned that this morning, I believe, where, we're spiritual beings, right? We don't care. You can take us out. We're coming back. We're here for eternity. We're not gone. Thank you. And so that's really the attitude that I have come into this lifetime with. And that's really why I'm playing and doing the things that I do. And we are responsible now. This isn't just about us. This isn't just about our companies. This has now become a much bigger game. This is about clean drinking water, food, healthcare, shelter, protection. This is about pride and preservation of the planet. And that is what our community is now finally binding together and building. This is the community that David has assisted us in building and launching here at this time. And I'm definitely very excited to be a part of it. So how do you get started on this journey, right? I just love this, because it takes a lot to be outside of a room like this and talk about it being outside of your comfort zone, your dreams being outside of your comfort zone, because everybody's sitting around thinking, this is great, everything's wonderful, and yet we know this is reality. This is the matrix. We are in the matrix, and until you wake up and get out of it, you're pretty well, entrenched in your box, thinking that life is going just fine. When in fact we know, we are aware in this room of the realities that are occurring every single minute of every single day that are atrocities to ourselves, our spirit, and the planet. And so we are the ones that have to get the messages out there so that others can wake up alongside of us. I guess someone's going to have to be the Neo and the rest of the characters. Okay, so how do you do that in the real world? Come down to a physical plane level. We have to learn how to automatically attract our ideal client. Okay, who is that person that you're communicating to? Now, a lot of times, when you're a holistic healer, you generally know the majority of your clients are going to be women, possibly age 45 and up. And you have to learn how to target market and how to find those pockets in communities of women that want what you have, or the pain that they have that you can solve. And so it comes down to the identification of your target market. It's really important nowadays because the one that's doing the translating is Google. And so because you need to know what colors do you put on your website to appeal to your target market. Because if you have a disconnect, immediately within seconds, they're going to go to your site and they're going to repel. And then you've lost them already. Or if you do not know that your target market maybe is a 45-year-old woman, when they come, if you're using languaging, or you've hired maybe a male copywriter, or you've just put something up there, then all of a sudden the words that they encounter are going to repel. And so you have all of these things countering against you. And not to mention, of course, the biggest counter of all, that if Google cannot go to your site and recognize who you're talking to and recognize the pain that you solve or the education that you have to disseminate to the world, then they have no way of feeding you up when the search comes. You're just going to be buried so far down. And this is why it's more critical than ever, because if people are seeking out your knowledge, those are the ones that want to find out about you, we have to make sure that we're serving you and your site up. So the next element of that is starting to establish your brand. Brands have been around for a very long time. We've watched them evolve. We've watched the Cokes and the Pepsis battle it out. Well, there's a reason that branding has become so important. It becomes an identification marker that we all have to apply regardless of what field or marketplace that we're in. So if we take a look at, who's this guy? That's right, Virgin Air guy, Richard Branson, that's right. So what are some things that Richard's known for?
Red and white.
Red and white, visionary, Virgin, okay. So philanthropy, brilliant philanthropist, exactly. And so he has built a brand that when you think of his name now, you think of that. That's where you have to get yourself. So when somebody thinks of Eric's name, he has to brand himself to a position of, that's the guy who knows this. That's who I need. It's like the guy around here, I think it's Larry or something, that's the Egypt guy, right? You have to be known for something, or else you're going to become whitewash and noise in the world. Oprah's another one, right? She's established a very strong brand as a spiritual awareness, as a catalyst for information of that nature. She was the first woman to come on to like national primetime afternoon TV there and say, hey, you know, we're spiritual beings and we all need to look at this in a bigger picture, and we've been through pain, and I'm going to help you overcome that. And then, of course, love him or hate him, the Donald man, right? He is one of the most brilliant branding marketers on the planet right now. Literally, from a bottle of water to his casinos in Atlantic City to his buildings in Vegas to everything that he touches. And now, every single time somebody says his name, he can add presidential-elect to that. The guy bought himself the world's greatest brand. I don't think he ever thought he was getting this far. He didn't care. He was already a presidential nominee, a presidential elect. He already had the title he was going for. The rest is a big party for him. It is the greatest PR propaganda machine that he's ever encountered, and he is enjoying every second of it. So here's the thing. When you don't establish an identity for yourself, you're going to be like this. You're going to be stuck in the sea of sameness. Two things will occur. One, your revenue will either flatline or go down. And if you can't break through a barrier, if you're someone that's got a business right now and you're like this, constantly going, God, I just know if I could just punch through that, I know I'd hit the next level. That means that you have not clearly branded and identified yourself and come up with a message that people can understand exactly what it is that you do. So what is that message? That means that prospects don't clearly understand what makes you special, what makes you you, and that is called a unique selling proposition. Many companies have it, and yes, it took them a lot of money to broadcast on television. But here's the difference now, and here's why a lot of people aren't doing it, is they think that it's not for you. That's for the big boys. No, because internet has made it a level playing field. It's important now that every single one starts to identify what is your unique selling proposition in a few words or less. So it's what sets you and your business apart. Who are these guys? Are they up there? Yeah. Who are these guys? You don't know.
They have the monogram on their belly.
M&Ms, right. You know the candy, right? Okay, good. All right, good. Well, play with me here, people. I thought I was in Dubai again. I had a flashback. Okay, so M&Ms. And I can't say that because they have the world's largest mall with another, of course, huge M&M factory in there. They knew who I was talking about. So this was genius marketing. Billion-dollar empires created from these two little dudes. Singapore, Las Vegas, Tokyo, Paris, New York City, all 6-story buildings dedicated just to these two little candies. It took that candy company to the top. And there is their tagline, their unique selling proposition. The milk chocolate that melts in your mouth, not in your hands. Here's what I love about that. They established an identity for themselves and ran with it and built this empire. Their competition did nothing, and now they barely exist on the planet today. They're in a few spot little countries, and here's the kicker. Here's where Smarties absolutely fell apart. They had the better brand. Yeah. Not only are they better tasting, but they have the better brand. They're fun. You can take that red one, you got lipstick, purple, war paint, all over yourself, and it wipes off with a face cloth. What child does not want war paint that comes off easily? They all do. And guess what? You go to your store, got your 2-year-old with you, and he's talking about the war paint candy or the boring M&Ms that do nothing. They're going to scream for that. They had the perfect pull, and they said nothing. And so, therefore, they've dropped themselves into oblivion. That is a massive missed opportunity that cost that company dearly, Nestle's. All right, so what does that mean? That means you have to be prepared. All right, so generally, if you want a quantum leap, that's how you're going to get through, because we all know about the barriers, right? If you move at a certain pace, a barrier is going to hit you every few feet. When you do a quantum leap, when you jump from here to there, faster than, energy or any barrier can move in its place, that's when you start to make results. And even better, money loves speed. So all the things I do with my clients are right off the bat is to help them set up for their Oprah moment. And I say to them, what is your Oprah moment? Because we all have a different one, right? Mine still is. I'd love to, hang out and get on the Oprah show. She still has that golden touch. But each of us has our own, like a TV show or something you want to be on. But the thing is, you have to be ready for that moment now, today, or it can't come. Not only will the universe not send it to you, but even if it did, it could be an absolute disaster. It could turn around, and so you want to prepare for that. So here's one of my clients, and he needed to prepare for his Oprah moment. So he's going on America's Got Talent. He made it all the way to the semifinalists, 22 million viewers a night, and he had nothing ready. No social media, no website, nothing. A lost Oprah moment. So here is a little bit about Jim. Oh, yeah.
Impressionist.
Okay.
I was very lucky to grow up with a wonderful professional actress mother, Marion Ross, who starred in Happy Days for 11 seasons. I learned from my mom that you need to have a very solid work ethic. If the career isn't happening, you make the career happen. You reach and you try something new and you call people and you put up a show and you write something. And so I've been doing that for years and years.
I'm so proud of my son. I know how hard it is to make something of yourself in this business, and he deserves all the success in the world.
My wife and my daughter, we are a team. I'm very lucky because I face rejection all day long, and when I return at the end of the day, my family is there and they just make all that go away. I would love to make my wife, my mother, and my daughter proud. I've been a performer for 30 years and the clock is ticking. I want them to go, Jim, you nailed it.
Let's make a little movie, shall we? Let's make a movie about a historical figure. Howard, would you give me the name of a famous man in history?
One we'd all. Ben Franklin, very good. All right, and if the judges will cherry pick from this list, in order or randomly, some names, then I will show you how Ben Franklin might have been portrayed by these celebrities. Howard, would you like to start?
Sure, Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. Tell you what, I see that Benedict Arnold come in here. I'm gonna hit him in the head with a bat. Heidi.
George Clooney.
George Clooney. Thank you. I have lost weight. I was beginning to look like the Liberty Bell. I've handled it. Mel?
Sting.
Sting. Declaration of Independence! Sign it, sign it!
Woody Allen.
Woody Allen, I invented the bifocal lenses, so that I could both see and, and read, but it developed 2 different kinds of migraine headache.
How about Robin Williams?
Sorry?
Robin Williams?
Robin Williams, in the future, people are going to think of me every time someone says it's all about the Benjamins. Oh, thank you. Heidi.
Dr. Phil?
Dr. Phil, okay, so John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, are you having founding father issues? Is that what's happening?
Nick, I bet you got one.
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.?
Yes, I am wearing an iron suit. It's a portable Franklin stove. It's a prototype. And from Twitter?
On Twitter, they wanted to see Jay Leno.
Jay Leno, I cannot wait until in this country we have freeways so that I can take all my futuristic car collection on them and drive everywhere. Thank you. Thank you.
Tout how amazing a comedian he is. He continued on. Again, 20 million viewers. He had nothing set up. Jim came to me afterwards and said, I think I made a big mistake here and I didn't prepare for that moment. And so now we've turned around and prepared for his next moments. So I think the biggest thing that we did with Jim is not just, of course, set up his social media, of which he has like 15,000 YouTube subscribers now. But something that Jim didn't see, and that was he could be a speaker. He had no idea that corporations would pay him to come on stage in front of their conferences and become a keynote presenter and open up the conference. And so that's what happens a lot of times, too, with yourself, is you can't read the label from inside the jar. And so, I'm able to identify some of these money-making opportunities that you might be leaving on the table. So in this case, once we had positioned Jim as a speaker, because he already had it locked and loaded. He was in tons of movies. He already had done like 115 national commercials, and he is a voiceover specialist for Disney, Nickelodeon, and I think Warner Brothers. This guy's career is locked, but he didn't know he could be a speaker too. Upon launching this website, pulling all of his online assets together, he booked 30 speaking engagements within the first 2 months of that site being live. So that's leaving money off the table. He missed the opportunity for Oprah, but once we got this in place, he then actually got picked up for a TV show called Impress Me, just kind of from his whole new revamp and relook on life, which was very cool. So then he has lots of nice things to say about me. The other thing I got for Jim actually as a client was into a movie. I was in a documentary. I am in a documentary. And it's called Your Second 50. And it's about the fact that aging is an illusion, and obviously as spiritual beings, we have a lot to offer way beyond our life age. Fantastic movie, fantastic movement. I'm actually on the board of directors for Freedom 50U, Freedom 50 University. And so I got him in that movie, and that is something he's incredibly passionate about as well. And I made him an international best-selling author. So, prepare and get ready. It's important that you professionally match, especially when you kind of have some weird topics that are not socially acceptable. It's important that they look professional, that they look as good as they can online, because those are the eyeballs you want, because then you can reach the millions with your message. So some of the clients that I encountered in the beginning, of course, had really weak online presence. You had no idea what they did. The one site, in fact, this one right here, where it looks like it says Ass Wipe, that company, that company was actually on the verge of bankruptcy. He had been in business for 25 years, in tears when he met me. I actually was doing a speaking tour in Australia. I think I was in one of my 8 cities while I was there or something, and I encountered him, and he's actually like in tears at the end of the event. And so I find out what's wrong, and I say, well, ass wipe, what do you do, right? And he said, no, that's not what it means. Well, of course, but that's what you've got there, right? You got to watch your acronyms. And then, of course, along the bottom, he's got all these babies' butts in the air. Well, that just accelerated it. I still believed we were talking asswipe here. But guess what he is? He's a wedding photographer.
Oh,
Exactly. Anyone feel wedding-ish at this moment? No, I didn't know that was a camera lens till he told me that he was a wedding photographer. I said, oh, this site's a nightmare. Anyway, so we rectified all that. And then we did something else. Again, the situation with Jim, very similar. You can't see what you can't see, right? And so in this situation, I said, you've been a photographer for 25 years. It's time you became the trainer. You need to show people how to set up a studio, how to make money, how to establish a lifestyle, doing what they love. That's what he actually went on to do. And within his first, I think he secured some sort of like a $50,000 contract from a corporation at that point to train in-house on how to get their staff looking good online and all their photography, everything. You have 3 seconds to make that first impression. That is it. Otherwise, you're pretty well experiencing this moment when someone comes to your website. So bottom line is, if your websites aren't working for you, they're working against you. And so if we have any speakers or authors in the room, it's important, especially because you're getting compared to every other options of speakers and authors out there. So here's one of my recent clients. Again, Drew Hunthausen. They thought that his story was going to be enough to carry him to the stage. He's a great motivational and inspirational speaker. Why? Because he is 100% blind and 80% deaf. And yet there he is on the stage inspiring about attitude, gratitude, and no excuses. So we just did a revamp of his website, and of course that became a game changer for him. Now he looks like he is serious about being a speaker. And so when a meeting planner goes to a site, they're like, oh, he is a speaker. Whereas before they were like, I don't know what you do. Are you really? Are you good? You know, they just had no idea. And again, kind of a local switch here. Milton Edie's Dry Cleaning, located in Burbank, California. You know, this is a site that was monumental. It is a company that has been around like since 1934, like 1,000 years worth of employee experience in this thing because it's come up for the generations. But they weren't making that impression. And so we turned around and upgraded their professionalism, and then we added another level of income that they didn't see. And that was they could target corporations, studios, because in the heart of Burbank, we've got Warner Brothers, we've got every studio within a 5-mile radius of us, and costumers, you know? So studios, all these guys need their stuff turned around quickly. And he started to go into corporations now and do a pickup of like 105 articles and deliver it back by 5 so those people could take their cleaning home that same day, no fuss, no muss. Massively added to the bottom line. And in fact, just within weeks of us launching that website, they were contacted by Burbank Airport to be the dry cleaners for all of their stuff as well. And then, of course, the other thing we do, started to pull in the studios, and that makes for their credibility to raise. And when your credibility and appearance goes up, so can your prices, and so can where you get exposure. And of course, helps you to rise above the competition when it's clear what you do. In this case, we have no idea what Mary does, but in fact, Mary is Canada's #1 animal communicator and healer, which is the brand name that I gave her. So that's the tagline I'm talking about. We claimed a position nobody else owned in Canada. That was the game changer. It takes you from like $55 an hour to now we're sitting at $1,000 for a package. But that's only half the strategy. Yay, we've got our website clear, everything's messaged, we're good to go. We need, though, to start to build a list. Your list is going to become one of your greatest assets. You can't handle the volume of millions of people. Let me tell you, I know this from experience. You have to have a mechanism in place that captures the name and the email address of a visitor and then allows you to send out a message. It's it's like a personalized look and feel, but it allows you to educate and enlighten somebody on what it is that you do, so that at some point, touch point 7, 8, 9, they're buying something, and now you've got them. You've taken a very wide gap and you've pulled it into a community feel, and that's what that allows you to do. That became my game changer as well. And then you can create that super selling funnel, which completely educates, converts, and takes that order while you're still in bed. Okay, and here's an example just of one of my clients and what it looks like. In general, it's one page. So we've got the header. You're going to use a brand, a target market, create a logo that identifies, and you'll see her unique selling proposition. She does interview and content conversion specialist for 10x results. So many people do like a radio interview and then nothing with it. Well, geez, there's a lot that can happen to that content, and she repurposes it or shows you how to repurpose. And then we take a look at the other elements of a landing page. So you got your identifying mark, which is your header there. Is your golf game affected by pain or an injury? So in this situation, which is cure pain naturally, we're target marketing golfers, and of course we've identified that at the very top. Then of course we got our headline, and then we're saying, hey, we've got the solution, come and get our free gift. Okay, and then come get that and doing it by opt-in. You'll notice your landing page is not your website. It is a separate domain. In our case, Cure Pain Naturally. Here's Jim Meskimen, topcomedianspeaker.com. We managed to get 3 keywords together. And so now when someone's searching for that, that helps propel him to the front even more. Get your name and your email address. You're going to give away that free gift. You're going to add a picture or a video of yourself so you can be relatable and so that people don't think you're a scammer. And then you're going to have your story below, a connection to your audience that really says, you know, here's the pain I know that you're going through, and here's my kind of little bio on why I know how you to get through that. So why must you have one? It allows you to create a community and build relationships in volumes. You can't handle it on the phone anymore. We're going well beyond that. It allows you to track your promotional activity. It's the make money while you sleep and play. And quite frankly, it's costing you your success because you're still playing small. You can't play big until the moment you can handle a huge amount of volume and influx of people and be able to communicate to them in what it has the appearance of a one-to-one nature. So how do you put all this together? How do you reach those millions? We've taken a look at the landing page and the website. Critical, kind of physical universe pieces that the entire planet can come to see. Important that those look really, really good. When you have that, then you can start to launch a book product. You can get out there and be speaking. And then you can do TV and publicity. Okay, there's the 4 levels that we take a look at. So let's take a look at the book part of it first. The reason I am so passionate about landing pages is if it wasn't for a landing page, I wouldn't have become a best-selling author. So I hired my mentor, and he told me to build a landing page, and I said, I don't got nothing to sell. He said, it doesn't matter. You're in relationship building mode. Did that. I did what he said, and while that was sitting there, I started to write my book. So I write the book, 31 Days. This is what it looks like today. 31 Days to Millionaire Marketing Miracles. That's what it looked like when I launched it. So I originally launched it as a self-published author. And I'm writing, and then I get to the end, and I'm like, okay, great. Now what? Well, what? I got to market it. I got to get it out there. So, you know, you come up with the bestseller mentality of you putting that whole formula together, which I'm actually going to be talking about on Sunday. So I put the formula together, and had it not been for that landing page, which now had 3,000 hungry visitors in there, prospects, people that I had been nurturing while I wrote that book, this moment probably never would have happened. I didn't have friends. I didn't have contacts in the industry. I had moved down from Toronto, Canada to California. Nobody knew me, and I was coming out of the gate with my very first product for online marketing as a book. which I don't recommend. I'm just saying that's the route I took. And so I come out, though, and to these 3,000 people, and they're the reason that I became a #1 best-selling author that day. I said to them, if you go by on April 13th, I want to be a bestseller. By the time it's my birthday was April 14th, and you'll get all these gifts, right? Boom, launch, done, #1. That was a game changer. It changed everything for me. Because after that, it stayed on the top 3% of Amazon for 3 years. Then Wiley Publishing, the North America's largest publisher for business books, approached me, the dream of my life since I was 12, approached me and offered me a major book deal. I went over to my dream location, which was a New York Times literary agent that I wanted forever, who represented Eckhart Tolle. And I said, I want that guy. And they said, he's not taking anyone anymore. I said, what if I walked in with a contract, a 2-book deal contract? And they said, maybe. And so anyway, got on the phone. They signed me up, and that was the game changer. So then relaunched the book, Millionaire Marketing Miracles, under the Wiley banner at that point, and it went to #1 in US, Canada, and the UK all in the same day. And that was a catalyst. Now, back it up, though, to when I self-published. That moment still was the game changer for me, because that paved the way to the Wiley moment. But here's what else it paved the way to. When I launched that book, tons of people came to me, and they said, can you coach me through the book? This is the A to Z of internet marketing. That's what it is. And so I said, sure, I can. And I was charging $10,000. This was a program called Entrepreneur in Overdrive. And I would spend the year with them. I would just walk them through the book. Here's what you got to do. I was reviewing all of their marketing material, everything, going through. So I had made 6 figures in my first couple of months after launching the book. The World Internet Summit saw that. Oh, I see. Okay. 8-time international best-selling author now. The latest book, I'll get back to that other story. The latest book that I came out with, I guess in 2015, was Empower Business Everywhere, Start Right Marketing. What? Mission Critical Message. That's coming. Start Right Marketing was 2014. What I realized was once I had this formula so locked and loaded, I wanted to bring other people with me, and so I started to do contributor-type books where I would bring in 11 other authors, just 12 of us. Everybody got a meaty chapter, got a bio, got a call to action page, got their title that they can apply to anything for the rest of their lives. So I started to come up with these books. That one was Empower Business Everywhere, How to Change the World with Your Why. And then the one that I just launched a few weeks ago, which went to #1 in 4 countries, again, it was called Mission Critical Messages, How to Make a Global Impact. And so that was the second part of the journey. Back to the first part where I had launched just a self-published book, made all that money. World Internet Summit contacts me. They were the world's largest organization for internet marketer speakers. All the giants were on these stages. And in fact, it was 16 men and 0 women. And I'm like, that's not right. Surely there's one woman capable of, in this whole planet, of being on that stage. Now, luckily, that turned out to be me, because the World Internet Summit gave me a call, and they said, you've been voted as New Internet Marketing Success of the Year. And they flew me, all expenses paid, from California to Singapore to appear on my very first stage in front of 3,400 people. That launched my speaking career. And so now, as I mentioned, it became an amazing new artery of me being able to reach so many people. And there's nothing like a live scenario. As much as I love TV and the other mediums, nothing replaces this live interaction. And so I've been around the world now, speaking, again, in over 35 countries. I think 3 of my really impactful ones were Dubai, Kuwait, where I opened up the very first women's business center. And it was the very first time that a woman in that country was able to own a business. Talk about feeling grateful for the lives that we have because now, you know, all I saw was this the whole time, and they're all opening up their own little businesses. They want to, you know, become a part of that. So I went and workshopped with them. I opened the center as the keynote and then workshopped with them on how to do it online. So that was part of my journey. The most recent speaking engagement I had, I kind of mentioned briefly this morning, was when I was the only woman invited to speak at the Global Leaders Economic Summit in front of heads of states, presidents, and the top CEOs. It's invitation only. It was invitation only for the attendees as well. And so that was incredible, because I spoke on the social consciousness of technology, which in China is a big topic to walk into, because number of reasons. They don't have Google, they don't have Facebook, they don't have Twitter, they don't have any of the things that we have. It's all banned. And I'm coming in saying, look guys, you guys are probably one of the most powerful nations on the planet. You have a very large population, and they have tons of money. And it's time to raise your own consciousness of what's happening on the planet and attach a cause to your companies, because I was speaking to CEOs, presidents, and heads of state. I didn't know if I was going to get booted out of that country, pulled off the stage, nothing. I was the only speaker that day to get multiple standing ovations, including when I left the stage. So I figured I was alive and, and okay. They have invited me back actually already multiple times to speak. I just don't have the time right now. I've also won awards from the Assembly, from Senate, and most recently from White House and President Obama. And then we hit the game changer. Now that you've been through all this, you are now ready for the big leagues.
Live from Las Vegas. Fox 5 News This Morning starts right now.
Tracy Repchuck is a best-selling author and an online marketing and technology expert. She is here
Activity online. Tracy Repchuck is a social media specialist and author, and she's created
because there's actually even a better way. And Tracy Repchuck is here today. She's a best-selling author, our technology expert today, talking about apps.
Online safety for kids, specifically social media safety. Tracy Repchuck here this morning with some great advice. Tracy is a mom of 3 teens, best-selling author, founder of Social Media Safety for Kids.com. Tracy's kids are active.
Passionate about keeping your kids safe on social media. Tracy Repchuck has been working with technology since she was 19 years of age, and now she has 3 active teens on
social media expert and author Tracy Repchuck has an app for every occasion, and I'm so pleased to say she joins us this morning.
What to do with your kids in the heat? Well, best-selling author Tracy Repchuck.
Our next guest is a mother of 3 teens and the author of Social Media Safety for Kids, and she is here with tips to keep your kids safe online this summer and the upcoming school year. Joining us now is Tracy Repchuck. Thanks for joining us, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Help parents keep their children safe while online. And Tracy joins us in the studio today. Nice to see you. And the great thing for parents.
School time can be very expensive. Repchuck, the best-selling author of 31 Days to Millionaire Marketing Miracles. Hello, it is lovely to see you again.
Thank you, Tara.
That's how you reach 22 million people a year. Thank you. So I've actually locked all of it into a formula. I get my clients in the media. That's Kellyanne Pertucci on Dr. Oz. She now has her own PBS show. One of my clients, Fantastic Frank, he's actually got a traumatic brain injury and has difficulty even talking, but he's a motivational speaker as well. And one of my clients on another show. And then, of course, when you get all that together and you start to put together your own YouTube channel, but build it on your own site. Now I have a show called Tech Talk with Tracy, which makes me look like I have this big fancy TV show when, you know, it's just really YouTube. But the beautiful part about this is people see it, and it raises your credibility like crazy. And then I say to people, do you want to be on my TV show? And they're like, yeah, heck yes. And then I get people like the VP of GoDaddy to appear on the show. And so that's kind of where you can get to as you continue to raise your credibility. You can see all of these pieces start to create this ultimate image. So you move yourself from the sea of sameness to a specialist, to an expert, to an authority, and then not only are people listening to you, you have the influence, you're reaching millions, but you're making money at the same time because people are going to pay you for your knowledge. Then last but not least, I'm going to talk in detail on Saturday on this topic, but your social media. So like I say, we can hit millions in social media with the influence of one small community, quite frankly. The key is to, one, be on the social media platform where your users are. That becomes very important. We're going to talk about that more on Saturday. But two, then you're funneling them to the landing page, that one-page website. We need them in our own personal database because if they're not there, then what's going to happen is all the social media platforms own them. So let's say I, kind of piss off Facebook one day, which can easily happen. They can say, bye-bye, boom. There goes all my followers. Twitter, boom, all my followers. YouTube, every single social media platform, we don't own those people. So we can have all the influence in the world, which is what we're going for, so that we can educate, but these guys own the platforms, which is why it's critical. You funnel these guys into your own database as fast as possible, and that's the landing page technology. So how do you kind of put all of this element together? So I have a product called Internet Success Mastery. All right, so it helps to educate you on all what I've just talked today as far as how do you keyword research, set up a niche, and do all of that research. How do you do blogging and a landing page? How do you set all that up? Autoresponders and copywriting. How do you communicate not just via email, which is very key to the success of what you're doing, but on social media platforms? What are you saying that's engaging and pulling your audience in? Module 4 is so small. Oh, memberships. So when you want to create that tighter community where they pay you $10, $20 a month, everything about there is in there on how you do it, how you set it up, and how you structure it. Sales page. How do you write riveting words where somebody comes and takes an action that you want them to do? Buy your book in particularly if you're an author. And then last but not least, traffic and PR. How do you get attention to you and your site? That is the entire system. I used to sell this actually for $3,500. Now it goes for $997. But again, for this community, you're near and dear to everything that my purpose and mission is based on. So all of this is for $197. All right? So you're going to save 80% today of this particular product. But that's not where I'm going to end it. You're going to get the product, you're going to get lifetime access to it, and you're going to get 3 full days of training with me. It's here in Hollywood, California. I go over everything. We go over crafting your message, getting your brand together, getting your landing page together. Then we talk about social media in way more detail, because I have 3 days with you. Then we talk about corporate sites, how to put together your $1 million design, how to take a handful of information and build it into an empire. I literally built a $1 million empire on the contents of this book. That's all you need to kind of do to put it all together. So we're going to go over all of that traffic. Everything is handled in those 3 days of training. It's a $1,000 ticket by itself, and I'm including that for the $197. So all of that has a value of $1997. You're going to save 90% today for just $197. Got a gift here for the first buyer. I love action takers. First buyer is going to get a copy of my book. I do not. I don't sell my book. Don't ask me to buy the book. And actually, the order forms are actually out in the thing. This is so you know what you've bought. There's actually 3-part order forms out on my table there. Those are for, so you get a copy as well. And this is, I realized you wouldn't remember what you bought. First buyer gets the book. Okay, that's gone. There we go. Oh, he's gone to sleep. Okay. Oh, I have to do it manually? Okay, no problem. 1997. Oh, are we going the wrong way? So the next, my next event is November 10th, 11th, and 12th. So you can attend that separately. You know, if you don't feel like committing today, just wait, buy a ticket later for that event. It's called Business Online Mastery. I just finished one in March at the Lowe's Hotel. That's where it's going to be held again. And last but not least, I'm going to give you access to a software product that I buy on your behalf. And it is so you can generate every form that you need for Federal Trade Commission compliancy. So when you're talking testimonials on your site or all of these other things are going on your sites, website earning disclosure, anything that you're saying. In fact, all of the things that we say could be deemed against practically FTC compliancy. This tells you how to get, you just put in a few lines and it generates all the code for you, and then you just put it on your website. You're going to get that as well. So it carries a $2,500 value today. Oh, here we go. $2,500 value today for $197. And that's it, gang. I'll be out at my table. Come ask me questions. And thank you so much. I'm blessed and honored for you to be here. Chill out, Periscopers. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You have a business card too?
I do have a business card, yes.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
The Skype is finished. What is this?
What is what? Oh, that's mine. Yeah, somebody handed me that. All right. Do you want, if you go, oh, actually.